Most B2B owners are just guessing why their customers buy. Stop wasting your budget on assumptions. It is costing you real deals. Today, I'm showing you how deep psychoanalysis and market research can close the deals your competitors are losing. Here is the truth. Most B2B marketing fails because it is built on assumptions, not actual buyer data. In this video, we are covering ESM's approach to psychoanalysis and deep research, including why most messaging misses, how buyer psychology works, and a framework you can start using today. The payoff marketing that resonates with your perfect customer and closes deals your competitors cannot. Let us start with why guessing is so expensive. Most B2B owners assume they know why customers buy. They think it is price or relationships or just habit, so they build their marketing around those guesses. The problem? Those assumptions lead to generic messaging that sounds exactly like every other competitor in your space. You blend in, and when you blend in, you lose. The real cost here is massive. Wasted ad spend, weak pipelines, and deals walking out the door to someone who actually understood the buyer. And this happens every single day in manufacturing and distribution, where the stakes per deal are enormous. Now, when I say psychoanalysis in a B2B context, I'm not talking about putting your buyer on a couch. I'm talking about going beyond basic demographics. Demographics tell you who the buyer is, their title, their industry, their company size, but psychoanalysis tells you why they buy. It uncovers the layers that actually drive decisions: fears of making the wrong vendor choice, internal pressures from leadership, motivation to hit quarterly targets, and the specific triggers that push them from considering to signing. This is especially critical in B2B because you are not selling to one person, you're selling to a buying committee, and every person on that committee has different fears and motivations. Let me show you the difference this makes with a quick example. A generic buyer profile says your target is a VP of operations at a mid-sized manufacturer looking for a new supplier. That is surface level. A psychoanalysis informed profile says that VP is under pressure from the CEO to cut costs by 15% this year. They are terrified of switching suppliers because the last transition caused 3 months of production delays. They will not move unless they see proof of a seamless onboarding process. See the difference? The deep version changes everything. Your messaging, your offer positioning, even your sales conversation, you are no longer guessing. You're speaking directly to what keeps that buyer up at night. That level of clarity is what separates campaigns that convert from campaigns that just spend money. So, how do you actually get these insights? Let me walk you through a 3-step deep research framework. Step one is to mine your existing customers. Your best clients already have the answers you need. Interview them, but ask the right questions. Ask what almost stopped them from buying. Ask what sealed the deal. Ask what they were comparing you against. Then look at the patterns across your closed deals. What objections kept coming up? What was the average timeline from first contact to signed contract? What triggered them to finally move forward? These patterns are gold. Once you have those insights from your own customers, it is time to look outward. Step two is researching the competitive landscape. This is not just about knowing who your competitors are. It is about identifying what they are saying and, more importantly, what they are missing. Go through their websites, their ads, their case studies, their sales decks if you can find them. Look for gaps in their messaging. Are they ignoring a specific pain point your customers told you about? Are they all saying the same thing? Those gaps represent unmet buyer needs that you can own. When you fill a gap that every competitor ignores, you become the obvious choice. Now you know your buyers and you know the landscape. Time for the final step. Step three is mapping the buyer's decision journey. You need to understand every stage your buyer goes through, from the moment they realize they have a problem all the way to final vendor selection. Where do they research? Who else gets involved? Where do deals typically stall? And what information do they need at each step to keep moving forward? When you map this out, you stop leaving deals on the table because you know exactly where to show up with exactly the right message at the right time. That 3-step framework gives you the foundation, but the real magic is what you do with it. Here is where research turns into revenue. First, take the exact language your buyers used in interviews and put it in your marketing. Do not use industry jargon. Do not use corporate speak. Use their words, their pain points, their phrases. When a prospect reads your ad or lands on your page and thinks, it is like they are reading my mind, that is when you win. Then align your value proposition directly to the specific fears and goals your research uncovered.
If your buyers fear transition delays, lead with your seamless onboarding process. If they need to show ROI to their CEO, build your case studies around measurable outcomes.
And this does not just apply to one channel, it transforms everything. When you apply these insights across your entire pipeline, your ads get sharper, your landing pages convert higher, your proposals feel personalized, and your sales follow ups actually move deals forward. The compounding effect is powerful. Better messaging attracts better leads coming in, which means higher close rates going out. It is a flywheel that gets stronger with every deal you close and every insight you gather. This is the difference between marketing that costs money and marketing that makes money. Now, you might be wondering, if this works so well, why does not everyone do it? Simple. Most companies skip the research entirely. They jump straight to tactics, running ads, doing SEO, blasting cold outreach without ever building the foundation. And the agencies they hire? Most of them are generalists. They do not specialize in B2B manufacturers or distributors. They run the same playbook for every client. So their strategies missed the mark because they never understood the buyer in the first place. And that is exactly where your unfair advantage lives. When you understand your buyer deeper than anyone else in your marketing becomes nearly impossible to compete with. Your competitors are guessing, you're operating on data, that gap only widens over time. This is the foundation. ESM builds every campaign on data. First, strategy; second, execution; third. That order matters. If you want help building this for your business, check the link in the description. Now, let me bring it all together so you walk away with a clear plan. Here's the core shift. Stop guessing what your buyers want. Start researching their psychology and their decision process. Use the three-step framework we covered. Mine your existing customers for real insights. Research your competitive landscape for gaps you can own. And map the buyer's decision journey so you know exactly where to show up. This is not theory. This is how you build marketing that actually closes deals in B2B. And here's your homework this week. Pick up the phone and call your three best customers. Ask them one question. What almost stopped you from buying from us? That single question will reveal more about your marketing gaps than any analytics dashboard ever could. Take what they tell you and look at your current messaging. I guarantee you will see the disconnect. That is your starting point. If you want help building a full psychoanalysis and market research strategy for your B2B business, check the link in the description to learn how ESM can do the deep research for you. Subscribe for more data-driven B2B growth strategies every week.